Alrighty, still working on the old 49 Chevy truck here. Got everything mounted on the body for the most part. So what are we doing now? Well, I didn't video it, but completely tore this front end apart. So Chris got all apparently that one lower controller must have been on back order or something, because most everything was Moog. Got well, that's the driver's side lower control arm. Got a lower, an upper. Also have a set of new drop spindles here. So I dig those out, but you kind of see how it goes. So what my plan is, I'm gonna get the control arms on. I believe these are the front bags. Get the bags mounted. Got bag brackets for the upper, and then bolt on little cup little deals for the lower. I don't think anything has to be cut, other than we will have to do like a little slice like that, and that's just bag clearance. I don't necessarily know if you got to cut this guy off or not, but that's what mock-up's for. Never done this, so we're gonna learn. We will figure it out together. So let me get set up, drag the old tool cart out here and a rolly stool. We'll get some control arms hung, and we'll find the bag mounts and see what we can get done tonight. So get back to you. All right, I got the well, I hung both upper and lowers on here, but you got to cut this frame. So I mean, nothing was bolted, it was just hanging. The lower control arms are a very snug fit, but with a nice dead blow hammer and a alignment bar, you can win the battle. These are just hanging here. I'll take those back off. Oh, and my shims. This is what I did with the shims, just so I know. Now, it's going to need an alignment, don't get me wrong, but I either put them in a baggie, I ran out of baggies. What I did was I zip tied them together, and I write on their front and rear, and then I leave, you know, I mean, I guess I could have wrote left and right, but I was just taking a chance that nobody would juggle my shims around. So you'll know where to put the shims back. I mean, it ain't gonna be perfect, or it'll be where it was before we started. So you gotta do, now there's not, I guess I could watch YouTube again and make sure, but I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. But it says a rainbow cut, and this is, you can see kind of where this line and the bag or the spring pocket starts, and then right here, and then the bag will set up in there, but it just needs to be free and clear of anything that may rub that bag. So get there. I got the plasma cutter out, hooked the air to it. Let's trim this frame up. And I'll get in there and flat wheel this up, clean this, knock this little corner off. I may actually just go ahead and do that now. yeah, you gotta have some bag clearance. It's not rocket science. Should be all right. All right, I'm gonna go to the other side, trace it out, and then we'll get to cleaning this up.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Alrighty. Try this mic out one more time. See what we can do. I need to go ahead and put a fitting in the top of this bag and a small length of airline just to get it up and out of there, because you are not getting in there to put that fitting in when this is all together. Also, what I probably should do is go ahead and change those motor mounts while I can get to everything. That would be a smart thing to do. So let's go ahead and do that right quick, because those are not fun. Even in the situation we're in, where you can almost get to everything, because the nut for this one is, well, you see how deep my hand is in there. And then that bottom one, those bottom two actually, they're just as fun, because you got to go up through, well, you can't see this probably, where this lower control arm spot is, with the swivel and a wobble and a wiggle. And you still got to fight it. So let me get to that. Let me get those swapped. Let me get them located. I don't know where the new ones are. And get these done, and then I'll jump on the bags. If you've never done these frame mounts, let me show you. Jam this flashlight in there. You can see that one bolt there, which, you know, pretty well accessible, but I don't know if I can get you in there. So see, I took the nut off of that one. There's the back one. So you imagine the suspension together, then you got to go up through here and snake around, and I don't even know if you can see that, because I can't hold this control arm and look at the back of the camera, but yeah, they're pretty well hidden. Fun, fun, fun. But easy to get to where we're at, so let me get these swapped out. All right, I got these mounts in. They have some adjustability. They look like they have more adjustability than they really do, because this top hole is not as slotted as the bottom two. I took a gamble, pushed them all the way to the bottom, which isn't much, and tightened them up. Probably hosed either way. I decided to go with this. If I left them loose, then Chris would have had to fuss with tightening them up. But I've tightened them up, so Chris may still have to fuss with loosening them up, and then moving up to clear something, and then retightening. So hopefully this position's fine. He does have a swap pan, an LS swap pan, so it should clear the cross member. But then again, that extra half to quarter inch to half inch might be critical for header clearance or something. I don't know. So fingers crossed that those will be fine where they're at. The passenger side is a little more tough to get to than the driver's side. It has less holes up inside here. So security team is running drills today, I guess. I don't know. But now we can go on to setting these bags, but I got to dig out that fitting and a piece of air hose. All the bags are labeled, tells you what they are. It says scan this before installing. It suggests putting red Loctite on these thread, but I don't know why you would. I mean, seems like that would be, and it's also got thread sealant on these fittings, and I've always used Loctite thread sealant myself, so I guess we'll do it the way they want to do it. The upper bag mount's adjustable. I'm just gonna put it in there to where the air fitting is centered and safe, I guess. Can't really get to it once it's tight or once it's installed, but as well, we'll just basically try to center it on this bag. It's definitely not centered on the bag. So I don't know what I'm doing, you know, that's just how it is. It does come with this little airline cutter. But like I said, I'm not too sure where I need to come through at. So I guess I need to put the bag in there and get an idea in relation. So we'll say the fitting's at the back. This is gonna be a long video. I do not have my pocket light. Alrighty, got this plumbed. There's plenty of room in here to put a little rubber grommet, keep it from chafing or whatnot. The stud is Loctited to the top of the airbag bucket. Airbag's bolted to the upper, and the lower is still loose. You can get to it from the hole in the lower control arm right here. So once it settles where it needs to settle, we'll snug it down. Set this upper arm on. Well, I better cut that off first. So I'll be back. Now, be careful when you drill that hole. You'll be lucky like I did and it won't be under the cross shaft. So, but it clears, it's fine, it's happy. I think I covered this in the beginning of the video, but I zip tied these together in matching pairs where the shims were. Well, the shims will go back where they were. Try to get all of this steering and suspension bolted on today, because I am sort of running behind on the project list. And I desperately need to jump on another job. So this video will be probably broken up between, there'll be a video between the front suspension and the rear suspension. There'll be a video of something else in between these two videos, so kind of hate to do it that way, but running behind. Let me tighten this stuff up. All right. That's not a 18. Or a 19, I mean. All right, don't get too crazy with that one. Let's see. I guess I need to go up there and get the drop spindles out of the back of the Tacoma. Be right back. All right, so what you do is you pretty much do the same thing. What you do is you pretty much do the same thing to the other side, and we'll have the suspension hung, and then we'll start on The steering parts, I don't know if there's sway bar links in there or not, but if they are, we'll add those. We got grease fittings need to put in, put those in last. What else? Oh, got to pack some wheel bearings. That's always fun. Hang the rotors, got new calipers. I need to go steal all the new calipers might have hardware with them. I'm not totally sure. We don't have backing plates or dust shields or whatever. I may or may not put those on. And I'll get back to you when I get that side done and we start hanging steering components, because we'll need, luckily the old stuff's still here, so we can measure tie rods and kind of get an idea of where to mock up the new stuff. And I believe it's new center link and all, so she's all brand new. What else? You know, that may be it. So, all right, I got the idler arm. Chris bought a pitman arm. I'm not going to use it. I don't see anything wrong with this one. So that'll be 30 bucks he can save there. I hung the center link on. I've got the measurements, the rough measurements for the tie rods, the tie rod assembly left side or passenger side and driver side. So so we can kind of, and these new sleeves and all, which is handy for putting this stuff together. For the most part, he bought everything they had in stock that was Moog. I'll keep the nuts and the grease fittings in the box with the correct parts. Sometimes those stuff is a little bit different, I found out on the Impala. You'll need a left and a right. All right, we'll get these, I'll just thread them down to about that pinch point right there. And we can make adjustments after that. All right, we'll leave it at that. Let me get a rough idea. It needs to go in significantly. You want to try to keep the even amount of thread in there as possible. That way when you adjust it, you don't go all crazy and run way out of adjustment on one end. All right, that's fairly close. This is the outer. It's got the grease fitting right here. Put the nuts on there so they don't fall off. Then we will blow fluid out of the pump or the box and go back this side. We can hang that tie rod. All right, so everything's pretty much roughed in. I'm gonna put the grease fittings in just so I don't lose them. And we'll jump on packing wheel bearings, putting rotors on and all that fun stuff after lunch. So that's where I'm gonna stop. Alrighty, started this wheel bearing packing mess before I got the camera and the microphone out. So I'll just show you how I pack the bearings on the front bearing. They make sealed driver sets, but I don't have one. You can use a socket, a piece of wood, just the hammer if you're careful. But I just use crap I got on the press in there. We'll need it again over there. All right, I'm got the gun range going today, so sorry for that noise. I gotta go steal the, I'm not gonna put these dust shields back on. Those are all beat up and crusty. It's really pointless. For this, it probably really don't matter anyway. But I gotta steal the castle nut and the washer off those stock spindles. This thing don't fall off in the floor. But I'll show you how to do that front bearing. You may know how to pack bearings, I don't know. But If you don't, somewhere around here I've got a bearing packer, but it makes an absolute mess. Little glob of goo in your hand, take this bad boy and just ram it in there, and you'll see the grease start to shoot out of the cage like that, and you'll know you're getting all the grease inside that bearing. And just keep on going on around until it is just coming out the sides, both sides. Probably see better on this side. Let me wipe it off. It don't take much pressure. Rake it all into a pile and keep going. And I'll take the grease gun and I'll run me a ring of grease around that. I gotta go take that castle nut off before this thing falls off in the floor. Alrighty, got this nut on here. Try to keep this rotor sort of clean. I can always spray it with brake cleaner and get all the handprints off, but let's see what we got here. Use this metric adjustable. I have to go get me a cotter pin out of the shop. Oh, it feels pretty good. Let me get a pin or two. All right. Well, other than this truck, got a few things coming back to the channel. The white El Camino, we've secured a good 5.3 for that, so I've got that on my plate again. The red El Camino, the block came back from machine shop 2 Fridays ago, so I have that motor to build and that car to finish. What else? I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a yellow 55 Ford in the building that is new to the shop as of yesterday. We have that truck to do, and I believe, I've got a rear disc brake swap on an OBS truck that's right behind the camera that I'm about to start on as soon as I finish up this part of the truck. And I believe it also gets drilled and slotted front rotors. I don't really, I'm sure there's some other stuff that's going to happen to that truck, but I'm not 100% sure right now. And then I guess you can say I pretty much confirmed the trade on, or a trade kinda, trading out some my labor and such for another job that I need done. That truck will be a LS Swap C10, and it is on air ride. Pretty cool old C10. It's been around town for a good minute, but yeah. Impala to-do list is a mile long. The dually was sitting here, it's supposed to be done for power tour. I'll have my 55 Chevy, I'll have my 55 car 2 years and a couple of weeks, and I've not touched it. And then, you know, I did this truck. I took a 55 pickup in trade on doing this truck. So no shortage of content, and it's hard to tell what else I'll decide to take in and push my junk back, because 1, I like doing this, 2, it's content, 3, it's money to help pay for my junk. So, you know, just kind of gotta deal with it, I guess. I'll get to that car up there, my 55 car, when I get to it. But all right, let me clean this bearing cap up, shoot a little extra sauce in it, and we'll throw the pads and the caliper on, and then everything I did over here, I'll do over there. I don't think you want to watch it twice. And we'll we'll close up this video here shortly. Alrighty, got the front of this thing. The only thing I have not done yet is the A-arms didn't come with grease fittings. I don't know, I seem to remember buying an assortment of grease fittings. I don't really know what I've done with them. But if I've not looked at those factory control arms, if they have grease fittings, I'll just steal them out of those. But got the motor mounts, the air lines stubbed up through, all the shims back where they're supposed to go. A-arms tight, upper A-arms tight, lower A-arms are tight. The only thing, if Chris wants me to reuse those sway bar end links, I will. Just find out. I mean, it's 2 wrenches in 5 minutes and we can have it together. But upper and lower ball joints are tight and pinned. Those still have to set the toe, pin tight, fittings in there, grease fitting here. Center link is not greasable, that sucks, but what do you do? Pinned here, pin tight, all that's tight. Calipers are on, brake lines are on and plumbed. Same way with this side over here, we have a brake line, or a brake hose rather. This rotor was previously purchased by someone else and it had a bunch of old grease in it, so I cleaned that out. And this caliper, this passenger side caliper, did not come with pad pins, so luckily swiped those out of one caliper over there, which actually need to take the other caliper loose anyway because he has about $26 worth of cores that he can return on those. So between the cores and that pitman arm or steering arm, whatever you want to call it, it's got about 65 bucks he can get back on that. Because this is a pretty decent little amount of money here. I know just that one receipt, I don't know if that necessarily had the drop spindles. Let's see, it does not. So you're looking at just steering components, control arms, calipers and pads, well over 500 bucks. So, but it's all new, it's all fresh, that's a good thing. And it desperately needs painted now, so that'll do it for this video. It's probably already entirely too long and I've got to get started on this guy right here. So next up will be the 4-link, the rear suspension. That may be done in 2 videos, and I guess it goes to Chris after that. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching Left for Dead Garage. We'll see you on the next one.